The first thing I'd like you to do, if you can see my screen, is to go to slido.com. So open up a new window or take a picture of this QR code with your phone. And I'd like to know from you how engaged you are currently in the First2 network. Yay, works. Cool. Oops, that thing's in my way. There we go. All right. Give it just 10 more seconds there to capture some more if there are. I see 36 responses, so that's really cool. So I hope you all can see the results as they're coming in. We've got some very active members here with the First2 network, so that's good. You can see what I've been thinking about today. We have a little, 19%, somewhat, occasionally active working group member, information receiver at 17%. And then we have some new folks that are not at all involved yet. So welcome to our session here. I'm going to ask you one more question before we leave the Slido here. And so I want to know, I want you to just put in some responses. What do you think the shared vision of the First2 network is? If you're going to find a place in it, what do you think it is? You just use some few words there and put in some words to say if you think you know what the shared vision of our network is. Oh, did I didn't act? Oh, yes, I did. Okay, cool. Hey, somebody has inside knowledge there. I saw that.
It had to be Erica.
Yeah, these are all great. Cool. Of course, I'll give the 8 of you that don't know anything about the network yet. You have a pass. You can write, I don't know, if you want to. Okay, I don't quite know how to make this be small enough for you to see everything all at once, but I will scroll down through this in just a second. So we see a lot of STEM college graduation rates to increase that among underrepresented and first-generation college students. STEM retention. Introduce STEM to minorities is listed here. Serving and equipping first-gen STEM students. Recruit and retain STEM students. Increase the college attendance and graduation of first-gen students. These are pretty good. It's fun to see it in your own words. Get first generation and other represented groups research experience in STEM fields. And then we have this one here, taken directly from our NSF proposal. So I'm going to pass by it really quick. Yeah, spread awareness that first gen can be successful in STEM. All right, most excellent. I'm going to move out of this now. If you think you have seen a pretty good representation of what different people's thoughts are about our shared vision. And I'm going to take you to my PowerPoint slide for a moment. So we're calling this your place in the vision of First2. I'm not going to share this full screen, I don't think. Maybe I will, if I can get in and out of it okay. Let's see here. I'll do that. So I grabbed our shared vision statement from a presentation that we collaborated on for the NSF earlier this year. And I like it because it indicates a need statement and our main aim. So kudos to all of you that got that, improved the persistence rate of first generation West Virginia students who enter college with a declared STEM major, who complete a STEM degree within 4 years. So if we can accomplish that and do the things underlying that, we will have a vibrant STEM workforce in West Virginia that can contribute to the diversification and the innovation of our economy. Now, I forget what's next. Let me see. Oh, yeah. So the next question that I really have for you, and I'm going to take you back to the Slido here in just a second, but the next question I have for you is, why do you think it's important to double the rate of first generation STEM students who are entering college with a declared STEM major? Why do you think it's important that we try to meet that aim? So let me scooch out of this and go back to the Slido here. And if you could, this next one I believe is maybe a word cloud, if I recall. Oops. Oops. Sorry about that. And a word. There we go. Oh. Okay, is it activated? Yeah, okay. See if this will work for you. So in a word, why do you think this vision is important? Double the number of STEM graduates in our state. You can add more than one if you want. I think you're allowed. Yeah. Parsnips. Beans.
I swear I kicked the kids out of the room. It's not me.
I shouldn't have said you could add another word. Yeah, these are all great. Give you 10 more seconds in case there's some people that haven't put anything down. And then we'll be done with Slido for a while. So this lovely word cloud will be something we can post to remind ourselves of what we were thinking about why the vision is important. So, of course, you know, there are a lot of high-level reasons why this vision is important. And then I was just thinking about bottom line things, and I think you guys kind of got to the bottom line in all of those words that you put up there as well. So let me go here for a minute to get rid of that dollar sign. But if you're thinking bottom line, or if you're trying to convince somebody why they need to do some of the activities that members of the First2 network are doing, to higher education, you can convince them very easily, because the numbers are out there, that you can save millions of dollars by retaining the students that have already enrolled in college. In fact, something that I just read, and I've got the link for you later, said if you had a 15,000 student body college and you increase persistence by 1%, you would save about $1.4 million a year. And I think that goes to all of the effort that you put into recruiting. If you retain them, you're going to save this money. It's a great investment. To people that are really interested in the West Virginia economy, I want to give you this idea that I hope you won't take offense at it, but I think of West Virginia as an island. And I was on a committee for a while that was on a workforce development committee for an observatory in Hawaii. And West Virginia and Hawaii are both called EPSCoR states. You'll learn more about that later, but what it means is that our states don't have the rich research and development infrastructure that a state like Virginia or California has. It also means that even if you can attract talent into work in the STEM industries in your state, they might not stay. So in Hawaii, they've got this big problem that it sounds great, and you move to Hawaii to work in a STEM field, and pretty soon you're missing, you know, your family back on the mainland and things like this, or it's too small, you're just too far away, and you don't stay. And so a bottom line vision, importance of this vision to me is that we need to grow our own talent and have our own talent. And furthermore, we need to grow our own STEM economy as well. We've got to build that at the same time. But I think of West Virginia as a similar place to Hawaii in this realm that it's hard, you know, if you have homegrown talent, they already know they love the state, and we love our state fiercely. So we're going to stay and do STEM here. The other thing is, of course, as some of you said, you know, our health and well-being as a nation, economy-wise, but also as a nation fighting things that science, you know, can solve. Changes in climate and disasters that need to be figured out, and planning for the future. In fact, the Includes program was created by the former director of the National Science Foundation, France Cordova, and that's her quote right there, that our nation's future prosperity, and I think health and well-being, relies on building out the broadest, most diverse STEM workforce we can. So there you have my take on some bottom line things that I would use to convince people in my institution. I don't have to convince them very hard because I work at a STEM institution, but to convince them that what the First2 network is up to could be really worth it to attend to these bottom line thoughts. Yeah. So as many of you know, because I saw that a majority of you that are here are really very involved in First2 network activities, but just for a moment, I wanted to remind everyone that we have sort of a basic unit of working together on different problems that affect persistence in STEM. And so we have 6 working groups. And if I were you and I was just starting out in the First2 network and I took a look at these high-level working groups, I might say, man, I don't have time to do that. But you do. You have time to join and be an occasional worker or a worker that spends a lot of time in the working group. But having more participation in these groups is something that I hope that you will consider. And so there are these 6 working groups right now. One is called Student Leadership, and we'll be talking a little bit about the activities of that group and what they're up to this year in just a minute. So Student Leadership is student-led and student-driven, and Joanna Burke-Kinderman and Samantha Mitchell are on this meeting, and they are your go-to people with regard to student leadership, particularly during the academic year. There is an immersive experiences working group. At the end of this presentation, there is a resource I have linked for you that speaks to those things that one can do to increase the chances that students will persist in a STEM major, because being a STEM major is not easy. And one of those things that the literature tells us is that early and often research experiences where you are involved in the work of a research community doing STEM research is a powerful motivator to toward persistence. It's what keeps you going because you can see yourself being a STEM person. You're being a STEM person. You're engaged in some way in that STEM research community. And so we have an immersive experiences group that gets super busy in the summer times with a summer research experience that I'll tell you a little bit more about if you want to learn more about it. And also, though, to engage students in doing STEM work for their job while they are in college, if they need work, if they need to work while they're in college. Why not have them work within the future community, the community they're going to belong to, that STEM community, and gain that experience and get paid to do it? And so academic year research experiences are something that we want to offer as soon as possible to our students and help them continue on and find new experiences to engage in along the way, just getting that STEM experience and that STEM competence. We know, though, that even though West Virginia students are super excited to be STEM majors, they identify with STEM at a greater degree than the national average. So high school graduates are interested in STEM at a higher percentage than the national average. But yet we know that there's work to be done to make sure that they are ready to enter a STEM major. It's not the same as high school. And if you talk to our STEM students, they can tell you some ways in which their high school education didn't prepare them for college work as a STEM major. And so there is a group that is working on ways to improve college readiness. We have an industry advisory group that has just created itself here in the last couple of weeks that are building industry partnerships and building our network capacity to help support persistence. We have a faculty student engagement group that I'll talk more about in just a moment as well. And there are some members here. Catherine Williamson is here and Michelle Richards-Babb have been co-chairs of that group. And they are working on that relationship between faculty and students and other staff at our higher education institutions. Because one of the things that research says is that building a personal faculty-student relationship helps students persist. They're not afraid to go to the faculty. They're not afraid to engage and get the help and support they need as they complete these pretty difficult classes. And then a new group is the First2 alumni group. These are First2 students, first generation students who have graduated from their undergraduate portion of their career. And they are, have formed to help mentor our student leaders and to be role models to them and to illuminate how do you get from being a STEM major to the workforce, to careers. And so those are our 6 working groups. A lot of, so what are we working on this year? And we are very interested in having people look at some of the ideas that have been written down by our current members for how to improve something like faculty-student engagement, and to test those ideas at their institution. So we're looking for people to take some of these, what we're calling change ideas. It might be having group office hours instead of having individuals visit you in the office hour, gathering students together in a group. Maybe that takes away some of the reluctance to come to office hours. But there are change ideas that have been already created by different members of our network that you could access and try to test out where you are in your practice. You can shop change ideas and say, I'd like to try that where I'm working to see if I can improve my practice with students. So we call these things PDSAs because change ideas planned first, and then you conduct your experiment to see and collect some data. And then you want to study that data and get together with others who are also engaged in this work. And then you can decide whether this is a great idea and you're going to keep it up, or if it's a great idea but it needs some modification, or if it's an idea that you just don't want to pursue any further. And so this is something that we're doing as a network. We're trying to build a networking aspect of it so that people can share what they're learning with each other. So it's not just you conducting this, but you can share this with others that are doing similar things and improve even more that way, improve faster than otherwise. And so one of the things that we're looking for are just people to take a look at our change ideas and try them out where they work and see if by adding data to these ideas, we get further toward improvement or not so far. So this is something we'd like to have people do. We're gonna go to the website right now. Oops. So I will just stop sharing for a moment. And the website is first2network.org. And if you just want to go there, I will share my screen, but sometimes it's better just to follow along and see what's happening there. So I will share once again and go to the website, but you can go straight to it yourselves. Okay, so let me get out of this PowerPoint. I don't know how to get out of it. Oh, okay. And then there. Okay, there we go. All right, so first2network.org is right here. And I'm going to log out. So if you're not a member yet, the first thing that you can really do to participate in the First2 network at the smallest level is just to receive information from the network. This year we are hoping to host short duration, topical, virtual hangouts, get-togethers with people that are interested in that topic. And so if you're a member, you're going to find out about that, and you're going to be able to say, yeah, I want to go participate in that without over, you know, overdoing it by being, you know, some 10% of your time invested in the First2 network. So even if you're not a member, you will see some links here. And I'm going to take you to a few of them just to show you the things that we're working on. If you aren't a member, right here on this front page, you can sign up to be a member. And once you're signed in, you can join working groups. And I really encourage you to do that, even if you don't want to, you know, participate all the time. I think you can be valuable. So, yeah, I'm wishing I could peek at this. I don't want you to see it yet, but I want to see it. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things we're working on this year with regard to students. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a student leadership working group. And that working group is comprised of mostly students and interested faculty and other adults, adultier adults as we call them. And you can provide service to these students on an ad hoc basis if you subscribe to the student leadership group. And Joanna or Samantha or a student puts out a call that says, hey, we're working on abstracts for this presentation we have to give. We could use some help, or we need some help with our chemistry homework, or whatever. You could assist the student leadership working group in an ad hoc way as needed if you join it. The student leadership working group, though, has a couple of big sort of programs that they are operating during the school year that I want to tell you about. And I'm going to go to students here first of all. And you can click through a lot of these links to find out more about it. Of course, we're trying to, students are the center of our network. So there's a lot of links here for students. But one of the things that the student leadership group is doing is they establish sort of, what are they called, Joanna? You want to help me out? Not student leaders, but directors, student directors.
We're directors, yeah.
Okay. And student directors are helping to form campus clubs. So if you're a first generation STEM student, you would probably really love to find a place at your campus, virtual or otherwise, where you can meet and discuss things and problems that come up with peers that are first gen students and other STEM students. You can form study groups. This is a place where our First2 network students, our student leaders, provide support to each other. So right now in COVID world, we are scrambling to try to get things set up in a virtual way. And campus clubs are now starting at universities and colleges where we've had students engaged in summer research. But that's not to say that you, if you're a faculty person who wants to start a supportive group of students at your campus, that we can't help you do that. We have students that know how to do it, and we have leaders in the network that know how to do it. And this campus club environment, particularly when it's like you see in that lovely picture there, face-to-face, is super powerful in students helping students to navigate the way it is. Not the way we want it to be necessarily, but the way it is in college as a STEM major. So campus clubs are something that we are working on actively, and I know there are people here that would be super happy to give you more information about how that would work. The other thing that happens with students that I can call an actual program during the academic year is that there are a couple of colleges in our network that have really established academic year programs where students can get in a research lab and do research and get paid to do it. And so if you are a first generation student and you qualify for Pell, if you're Pell eligible, you can get paid work study funds to do research. If you fall outside of that, the First2 network has funds to help students do research as well. We sort of pay the last dollar there. And so if you go to the Academic Year Scholars page, you can learn a little bit more about the different ways we provide opportunities for students to be leaders in our network. You can be a scholar. Oh, and the last thing is First2 ambassadors. So reaching back into K-12 and assisting students prepare themselves to be a STEM major before they get to college is something that First2 ambassadors participate in by telling their story. What is it like, really, to be a STEM major in college? And what advice can I give you, student to student, to be better prepared to be a STEM major when you get there? Our First2 ambassadors also try to influence other change makers, people like the legislature, their own institutions. And so assisting our students in getting their voices heard, not only in the K-12 sphere, but at the institutional level and even at the legislative level with industry associations. These are places where you can help spread the word, not only spread the word, but build the network, because we really are trying to get to institutional level change where things work differently and work better for STEM students. And by concentrating on first gen and underrepresented students, we're rising the boat for everybody. So there is that. Now, for faculty, there are a lot of you that designated yourselves as adulty or adults of one kind or another as a member. There are opportunities for you as well. And I want to take you to member opportunities. So Erica is here, I think. I'm not looking at the Brady Bunch list of pictures of people, but I think Erica Harvey is here from Fairmont State University. And we have, as a network, financial assistance and travel assistance and stipend assistance for those of you that want to engage in activities that support our network vision. So for example, if you wanted to be a tester and test a change idea in your own environment, in your own courses, in your own classroom, and you are willing to document that testing and share with others and help them test, then you can apply for stipend support to do that. It's not a lot, but it is there to honor your effort. If you go to a conference that First2 Network advertises, and there is a conference fee, and you will report back to us about what you learned, you can get what we call a travel application. Most of these conferences right now are going to be virtual, but you can get support for your conference fees to do that. So we want to let you know that these activities that I'm talking about here can be supported to some small degree with some funding and other support by the network. Oh yeah, this one is pretty awesome. So let's say that you teach STEM in some variety and you really want to understand what industry needs from a future STEM employee. Why, you can go visit that industry and learn more about it firsthand. You can you can embed yourself for a few days and see what's going on. We're really interested in people doing things like that as well. And if you're a K-12 teacher, I saw a few there. And some of you have heard of the HISTA program, the Health Sciences Technology Academy program. But in addition to that, there are research experiences for high school students, for our undergraduate students that I'll speak about in just a minute. And as a teacher, if you want to embed yourself in any one of these experiences, those opportunities are available to you. So you can come to one of our immersion sites or participate in a virtual immersion site and participate in that research alongside of everybody else and gain more insight into the research community yourself. So that's available as well. And I know that HISTA folks would love to have teachers participate in their summer workshop too. They've talked about that with us, and you can learn more about HISTA and see if that's something that you want to engage your K-12 students in by participating in a FIRST workshop. So the risk to you is kind of low, but you know, you can learn more about how things work and whether or not these are things that you want to be interested in through those K-12 opportunities. There are, I'm going to take you now just to, So before I sign in, one really easy way that we would love to have you participate in the network. This is like a low rung here. It doesn't take much time, is to share your own programs or news with us. If you run a camp, or if you have a program for discovery learning in your course, if you are getting ready to put on a program and you want to tell us about it, if you're having a conference and you want First2 network members to be there, you can use share your news with us and fill this short little thing out, and we will make sure that this gets posted on our website, in our social media, and on our activity pages. So please do that. We are getting ready, and Erica's leading this, to start trying to bring together a lot of work that's been done in several sectors. And Barth has been working to compile data on STEM occupations in the state and what's required there. K-12 organizations are trying to find out about K-12 STEM programs and compile information there. And First2 Network is going to be helping in that process this year with an asset map survey. And we would love to have you participate in that. If you have a STEM program of some kind, or anything else that the survey asks you, if you would participate in that, then we can all have a better understanding of who to go to and how to learn more about, you know, improving our STEM education opportunities and the way we do it. So share your news with us. It's super, super easy. So I'm going to sign in just for a second here and show you what happens when you are a member. A lot of the working group, conversations, traffic, whatever's being worked on at the time, agendas for meetings and so forth, are posted inside of those groups. And so if you're logged in and you go to the activity, First2 Network activity, you can see that it just popped up for me. I can quickly see what's going on. So I see that people updated their profile. Yay, Ann Barth, yay, you just became a registered member, I love you. And you can just kind of see what's going on there. And then you can go to groups and you can request to join a group. But if I'll just take you to a group here and show you the kind of, well, I guess I'll go to leadership team since it's at the top. So there are ways, there are discussions, whatever's on the agenda is posted here. Our meetings are posted here. And so a lot of the back and forth and the building of progress happens inside of these working groups right here. So any of those that you took a fancy to, you could join. And if nothing else, you would be educated about what's going on there. So let me take you now to this. I need to stop sharing because I want you to go here and make sure I haven't forgotten anything that I was thinking about. And thank you guys for adding in the chat there. I appreciate it. So let me get back to just this link here. Copy it and put it in the chat for you. So this is just a very quick spreadsheet that lists some of these things that I was talking about. And I'd like to have you indicate if you're interested in any of them. And if you are, all that will happen will be that we'll just contact you with an invitation to join either a group or to talk with a smaller group of other people that are interested to see if we can get some traction on them. So some of these things can be, oh, come here. I made it, I made my Zoom window, oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so here's the link right here. So it's just a sheet inside of our Google Drive, our lovely Google Drive. And if you want to go there and just take a look, I'll share screen just in case we need to have that there. So as we look down through this sheet here, so over here in kind of F, G, H, I, J, any of these columns over here, please feel free to put your name if that's something that you're interested in being contacted about. So one of our goals is to replicate promising practices, and I mentioned participating in the statewide asset mapping. So that's a low time commitment. A 1 means low time commitment. And anybody can participate in that for sure. If you have questions about these others, just unmute yourself and ask. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about the summer immersion. So very shortly, we are going to be putting out a call for interest in higher ed institutions that want to offer, or industry for that matter, or want to join up and co-offer a summer research experience for rising freshmen. So we know that this is a promising practice. We are very interested in seeing this idea of a 2-week research internship spread to different campuses around the state. Last year we did 9 summer immersion programs, and we did it virtually. So we even know how to do that now and can help get that done again. If you want to learn more about how to offer research to students, be that at the K-12 level or at the higher education level, we would put you in touch with our programs like, well, not our programs, but programs that are doing that, like the RAP program, like HISTA, like High Rocks, like the Governor's School, and we can get you engaged a little bit if you want to just be a recipient of those experiences.
So I was actually in HISTA in high school. What kind of things do you actually how do you pair up with HISTA, and what kind of activities do you do with HISTA?
Yeah, so one of the change ideas that so HISTA, the director of HISTA is one of our members at First2. And one of the change ideas that they came up with was engaging HISTA college students in the ambassador program. So if you look at line 10 there, or line 9, the First2 ambassador program is where undergraduates receive some training and professional development and mentoring and developing some presentation and talking points, and then you go back to your hometown school and you work with high school students, HISTA or not, to help prepare them for college. So that is one change idea that HISTA came up with, and would love to have our undergraduate students that were HISTA in high school be a part of that, for one thing. If you're a teacher and you're interested in finding out what HISTA is all about, then there are opportunities for you to participate in their summer workshop even before you commit to, a HISTA club at your location. So that's something that you can do. Anybody else can chime in. One thing we're hoping to do this year is to have, as I said, some virtual events that are short, they're topical, and would love to have you be a giver of some of these. If you are involved in STEM education and want to tell the network about it, we'd love to have you be a participant in these as well. Okay, I'm seeing some people signing up. That's good. I sure don't see 36 yet. We'll see how my last question does, but I'm going to stop sharing and see if anybody has any questions, and then I'm going to take you to the last Slido poll question. All right. Speak up if you got them. I share screen one more time, and I want to go to this right here. So we're back here at Slido. You can see the QR code and also the number 47752 if you need that. I'm going to go to my last question here and see if I've had an impact on you. So, it's anonymous. Are there any final comments from people in the group? Any other leaders want to make comments? You have 3 minutes.
Hi guys, this is Joanna, and Sue-Ann introduced me earlier as a student agency lead for our network. I just wanted to give a little promo for the next session. At 5:15, the student leaders from across our 6 institutional campus partners will be sharing, upperclassmen will be sharing some of how they feel that they've improved themselves and West Virginia's STEM landscape. and also how they hope to further improve. And our freshmen will be talking about what was important to them about First2 in transitioning to university during the time of COVID. So between their research opportunity in immersion this summer, which did happen virtually, and transitioning to campus. So we really hope to see all of you there. That session starts at 5:15, but students in First2 are welcome and requested to join at 5. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for indulging me today. I hope you figured out some ways to participate, and we'll keep the ideas coming.